The Imperial Zoological Ark was the galaxy's most prestigious collection of endangered species, a floating sanctuary that housed creatures from 10,000 worlds. But today, every handler, scientist, and security officer aboard had gathered at Observation Deck 7, staring through reinforced plasma glass at the most dangerous acquisition in the station's history. The Emperor Dragon Hatchling, Drakarian, as the xenobiologists had named it, was barely 3 weeks old but already measured 12 feet from snout to tail. Its scales rippled with iridescent fury, crimson bleeding into gold, then violet, reflecting its volatile emotional state. The creature had already incinerated 2 handling mechs, melted through a titanium containment field, and sent the station's most experienced Vraxian beastmaster fleeing with 3rd-degree plasma burns. "Absolutely magnificent," whispered Dr. Kelthera, the station's head zoologist, her 4 eye stalks focused intently on the hatchling. "And absolutely untouchable. The species will go extinct if we cannot calm it enough for medical examination." Captain Torvan, a massive Krogan warrior whose species had conquered 40 star systems, crossed his forearms skeptically. "My people have tamed void serpents and plasma beasts. Yet this infant radiates more killing intent than a Thorian war beast." The dragon hatchling shrieked again, a sound that vibrated through the hull plating. It clawed at the reinforced walls of its habitat, leaving glowing gouges in metal designed to withstand antimatter detonations. Its eyes, ancient, golden, filled with primal rage, surveyed the gathered aliens with unmistakable contempt. "The psychological profile is concerning," added Dr. Kelthera, manipulating a holographic display. "Emperor dragons are apex predators, yes, but hatchlings typically imprint on parental figures. This one was orphaned during the Andromeda mining incident. It trusts nothing. It recognizes only threats. Then we have no choice," Captain Torvan rumbled. "We must sedate it chemically even if it damages the specimen." "That could kill it," Dr. Kelthera protested. "The species is critically endangered. There are perhaps 20 individuals left in the known galaxy." Their debate was interrupted by an unexpected sound, the hydraulic hiss of the observation decks. To every head turned, a small human child wandered in. No more than 6 years old, with tousled brown hair and wearing an oversized maintenance crew jacket. Eli Rowan, son of the station's human chief engineer, clutched a stuffed toy in one hand and looked around with wide, curious eyes. "Eli," Dr. Kelthera's translator screeched. "What are you doing here?" "This area is restricted." But the boy wasn't looking at her. He was staring through the plasma glass at Drakarian, his small face pressed against the transparent barrier. "Is that a dragon?" he whispered, his voice full of wonder rather than fear. The hatchling's head snapped toward the sound. Its nostril slits flared. For a moment, the entire observation deck held its breath. Then something unprecedented occurred. Drakarian's scales shifted from violent crimson to a softer amber. The creature tilted its head, studying the tiny human with an expression that might have been curiosity. "Impossible," Captain Torvan muttered. Eli raised one small hand and pressed it against the glass. "Hi, dragon. Are you lonely?" The hatchling stepped closer, its movements no longer aggressive. It brought its massive snout to the glass opposite Eli's hand. A low rumble emanated from its chest, not a growl, but something almost like a purr. "Get him out of here," Torvan ordered. But Dr. Kelthera raised a tentacle to stop him. "Wait. Look at the biometric readings." The holographic display showed Drakarian's stress hormones plummeting. Its core temperature was stabilizing. The aggressive neural patterns were smoothing into something resembling contentment. "This is remarkable," Dr. Kelthera breathed. "The hatchling is responding to him." "Humans," Torvan growled with grudging respect. "Your species bonds with everything." Eli looked up at the adults with innocent eyes. "Can I go inside?" He looked sad. Every alien in the room immediately shouted variations of no in 17 languages, but Dr. Kelthera's mind was racing. The fate of an entire species hung in the balance. This hatchling needed socialization, medical care, behavioral conditioning. Without it, Drakarian would die of stress-induced organ failure within a month. They had tried everything. Everything except the one species in the galaxy stupid enough to try. "Prep the secondary containment protocol," she said quietly. "You cannot be serious," Torvan objected. "If that creature harms the child, it won't." Dr. Kelthera's eye stalks fixed on the scene before them. "Look at them, Captain. Really look. Through the glass, Dracarian had laid down, still watching Eli with those ancient golden eyes. The boy had sat cross-legged on the floor, talking softly to the dragon about his day, about his toy, about everything and nothing. For the first time since its arrival, the Emperor Dragon Hatchling looked peaceful. 20 minutes later, after safety briefings that Eli barely understood, and preparations that involved half the station's emergency response teams on standby, the boy was allowed into the habitat wearing nothing but his ordinary clothes. The adults watched in breathless silence as Eli walked toward the most dangerous predator in known space. Dracarian watched him approach, making no aggressive moves. When Eli was close enough, the boy simply reached out and placed his small hand on the dragon's snout. The hatchling's eyes closed. Its scales rippled through shades of peaceful blue and green. And then, to the absolute shock of every observer, Dracarian lowered its massive head into Eli's lap and began to make soft, contented sounds. The little human boy giggled and began stroking the dragon's scales. "Good dragon. You're not scary. You're just lonely, aren't you?" Captain Torvund shook his head in disbelief. Humans befriended wolves. They befriended horses. They even befriended the Krogians despite our initial attempts to conquer them. But this, Dr. Kelthera finished, is why humanity will never cease to surprise us. Over the following weeks, Eli visited Dracarian daily. The dragon hatchling thrived, accepted medical treatment, and began learning behavioral conditioning. All because a small human boy saw not a monster, but a friend. The galaxy would remember this day, not as the moment an emperor dragon was tamed, but as yet another reminder of humanity's most dangerous weapon, their irrational, boundless capacity to love the unlovable.